Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. Hope you all had a good weekend. I had a pretty good weekend. It was busy, but I got a lot of stuff done I needed to get done. So still got a little bit more to go, but made a big dent in it. So that's all that matters. Let's see who we got hanging out with us this morning. Darren Bird's in the house. Good morning, Darren. Monroe, good morning. Good morning, Landis. Good morning, Wilson. Leo says, good morning from Pinkerton, Ohio. Return safe from Houston, Texas. It's a lot cooler here. Yeah, I bet it is. Kind of toasty out there in Texas, I think. Clyde says it's coffee time. I would agree with that. George Rothfuss in the house. Good morning, George. Steve, thank you. Says thumbs up, Dave. Yeah, appreciate the thumbs up, Steve. We got a few of them over there. Not many, but got a few. Gary Hammett, good morning. There you go. Morning, everyone. A thimble full of rain. That's not much, is it? We're supposed to get a lot of rain this week, I think. That's what Joanne said. The rain chances have increased a lot, but it's going to have some cooler temps too, so that's good. My favorite solar man's in the house. Good morning, Ryan. Kevin Els is here with us today. Man, got a pretty good little crowd here. I keep going on down. Let's see. Ray Jones. Good morning, Ray. Lonnie's here. Good morning, Lonnie. Let's see. Lonnie's got a question here. When I post a video on YouTube, I'm using the free version. I didn't think there was a paid version of YouTube, unless you're talking about something else. But, well, I guess they do have what they call it, YouTube TV or something, I think costs. Maybe that's what he's talking about. He said, when I post a video on YouTube, how do I allow comments? I have it turned on and in kids allowed. I'm probably not the right one to ask about that. Because I've been doing YouTube a really long time, but I have all my stuff set and I never change stuff. And as they change things, I usually just leave mine just like it is. But I have mine where it's not, let's see, what's the word? It's not that kids aren't allowed, but it says something about it's not made. My videos are not made for kids. And it's not that, there's a lot of, R-rated stuff or anything in my videos. It's just that I know what my audience is. It's all older people. So I always have mine set to not made for kids. And I think you just avoid a lot of headaches by having it that way too. Because you got to be careful about putting something that might, make somebody butt hurt or something. Just my 2 cents worth, take it or leave it. Curtis is in the house this morning. Good morning, Curtis. Jim Senecola. Good morning, Jim. Marcelo's here. Good morning. Ray is confirming that Houston is hot. So there you go. We have a confirmation. I thought I heard something. I thought it sounded like rain, but I guess it's not. I don't know what that noise is. Don't know. Thought I was hearing pitter patter on the rooftop there for a minute, but I guess not. I don't really have much to talk about this morning. I'm kind of tired. I worked out in the garage yesterday get some stuff cleaned up and moving some stuff around. And I'm just wore out this morning because I don't know how hot it got, but I think it got like 87 or something. But man, the humidity's so high, it still feels like, mid 90s or something. I'm just too old for that stuff. Had me a big old jug of water out there trying to stay hydrated and stuff, but had to stay after it too. I didn't even come in the house other than to fill up my water thing a couple of times. But I was afraid that if I ever come in the house, and sit down, start soaking up that AC, that I wouldn't get back up. So I just stayed out there. I had a chair out there, and I would sit down in that and rest a minute, and then I'd get right back up and go. So, yeah, pretty wore out today. Clyde says, "What am I making room for?" Well, I just need more room. It is really crowded out there. I mean, I've got a path, and you have to understand how I work my house here. I never go out the front door. Never go out the front door. Nobody ever comes to the front door. And I use my garage door kind of like a front door. That's how I always go in and out, because me and Jack go out that way. When he's going out there to take care of his business. And I just got tired of having a little path to walk out there. I'm like, I need some more elbow room. Some stuff I have decided. Well, I've known this for a long time, but I have decided I have way too much stuff. A lot of it you could call crap, I guess, but I have way too much stuff. I get this stuff, I get the bug, want to do something, and I'm like, well, I don't have nobody to tell me no, so I go buy something and do it for a while, and then I'm like, okay, well, now I don't, been there, done that. I don't like doing that anymore. So I keep thinking if I do enough things, I'm going to find something I really, really like, other than the CNC stuff. But yeah, I just need to clean out and make some room for a little elbow room, because I just don't have stuff. And I found something kind of cool. Something that I had taken apart. There was well, I didn't think I could take it apart, because I thought when I made it, I glued it together. And a lot of times in the past, I've glued stuff and then I regret it. I'm like, nah, now I can't really get it back apart. I end up burning it up. But I found this thing, and I was able to take it apart. Found out I'd put brad nails in it or no, not brad nails. The little Harbor Freight gun. What do you call them? It's brad nails, I guess. And I had it put together, and those come apart pretty easy when you pull it. But I thought I had glued it and then put those in it, because that's the way I make a lot of stuff. And I was able to get it apart, and it's not pretty. It's plywood. I think it's about the 5/8 thick, or the exterior grade stuff. It's not anything pretty. But I thought, well, you know what? It's not that bad looking, and with a little sanding and stuff and paint, I could probably make it look pretty good. And I think I'm going to see. I got two pretty good sized pieces, so I'm going to play around with that box program again. Only this time I'll be probably using a 1/4 inch, since it's 5/8 thick. Because I guess I do have a 1/8 bit. I was going to say I don't have a 1/8 bit that's got more than a 1/2 inch worth of cutting length, but I do have one. But I still worry about deflection. I guess if I ran it slow enough, I might try that. Maybe, of course, I only got one shot, because I only got, those two pieces. I don't know. I might use a quarter. I might use that long eighth and just run it. Run it and let it take several passes and stuff. Go easy on it. Maybe it'll work okay. But yeah, I'm going to try to make a. I may try to make a box that I can use later on for a controller because, as many of you probably know, like right there's one of them. I have a piece of plywood that has basically I call it my demo board. It's got drivers and power supplies, breakout boards, terminal blocks. It's even got an e-stop, but it's like a thing I can set up and show people how to wire stuff for people that like to make their own controller. Um, and I keep thinking I've actually got two of these because I had another one not nearly as neat as that one, although that one's not neat. But that's what I had running my Gatton CNC. It was just a piece of plywood that was screwed to the back frame and or bolted to the back frame, and it had a bunch of spaghetti wires. It looks terrible, but it's good components. So I may try to. I'm going to go out there this morning and measure those pieces I have and see, get the blank sizes, and then come in here and play around and see if I can make a big enough box. I think I have enough to make a good sized box that would be big enough for a controller for that. It's just I probably wouldn't have a door, which is okay because I'd probably make the door out of something a little nicer looking, and maybe do something on the front of it, engrave something on the front of it or whatever. But anyway, I'm getting behind on the comments here. Let's see. Ryan says, "Are we making room for a pew pew out there?" I wish that's what I was doing because I would love to have me a big pew pew. I just have a little pew pew. Although that one's kind of cool. And I do have, I need to get back out there and play around with that one some more because I bought a whole case of two different size ceramic tiles and stuff. And I played around just a little bit with it, but I need to get back out there and do that. Clyde says we use the garage door instead of the front door. Yeah, I mean I absolutely I can't tell you the last time I opened my front door. Anybody that comes and knocks on my front door or rings the doorbell, that's the first sign that I know they don't belong here. because anybody that knows me doesn't come to the front door. They'll pull up. Most people pull up in the drive and then call me and say, "Hey, I'm in your driveway. You home?" Uh, and then I always go out through the garage door and greet them because usually anybody's coming over is coming to see stuff in the shop anyway. They're not really coming to come in here. Oh, let me see. Sean's here. Good morning, Sean. Bruce Foley's in the house. Good morning. Gary says, I got rid of 2 houses full of stuff and still moved 2 houses full. Don't know how everything was in one house. Yeah. I know I have way too much stuff. In fact, I've seriously been thinking, uh, because it's such a I mean, I got stuff that I could probably sell, if I wanted to, but I don't want to deal with people coming to the house, total strangers, and all that. I don't even want to, and sure don't want to ship nothing to people because shipping's crazy right now. So I figure the easiest thing to do is just throw it away, or give it away if I know somebody that's close enough, uh, and I know them, have them come get stuff. But I'm gonna be. Uh, I've really considered just calling up one of them big rolling dumpster things and having back one. Have me just spend a week throwing stuff in there, uh, just to get it out of here. Might do that. I don't know. Rob Schuster's in the house. Good morning, Rob. Hope you're doing well. Clyde says, my controls are in an open face box for 2 years now. Yeah. Yeah. Well, at least yours were in a box. Mine were just on a piece of old plywood. And like I said, that first one, that's why I built this one, is because I had that first one. And like I said, I called it my demo board. I would use it to show people how to do their own wiring and stuff. And then when my one of my little things, I think I had a driver go bad, and when I say Xylotex, you'd have to know it's one of the ones where it wasn't enclosed. It was just how he made them there for a while on that little piece of plywood. And I was in the middle of running a job and stuff. And so I'm like, well, let me just take this one off, stick it out, and I'll just mount that whole board back there because it's a demo, but it works. So that's what I did. Now, once I went to the trouble to bolt it on there, I just left it on there. And then when I wanted another demo board, I thought, well, I guess I'll make another one. But yeah, just trying to get some stuff cleaned up out there. And organization is not, in me, that's not two words that go in the same sentence, but I'm trying to do better. Rob says, me too, all wiring is more than 5 volt is protected, but everything else is open. Yeah. Well, I'm always envious when I see people that post pictures on Facebook and they have those nice looking control boxes, even if it's a DIY thing and they made it out of plywood or whatever. And then they have all the wires are nice and neat and organized and stuff. And I'm like, oh man, that's just so, I'm envious that they can do that, but that's not me. That's not how I roll. I'm always one where I always leave wires extra long to make sure they'll reach. And then I'm always thinking, yeah, I'll come back and trim that up and make it neat later. And I never do. I never do. It's like, if it's working, I leave it alone. So I had just a super big mess of spaghetti on the back of my Gatton that ran in, but it worked. So I just never fooled with it. Gary says, I have a dumpster that I'm filling up as I unpack. Yeah. Well, I know for sure there's no way. Well, I won't say no way, because I was going to say if I win the lottery, but I won't win the lottery because you got to play to win, and I don't play. But if for some reason I was to buy a lottery ticket and win, that would be the only way I would move, because I would just leave all my crap here and just start over. That's probably what I would do. But I know I'll end up dying right here because I got too much stuff. Got too much stuff to move. Let's see. Rob says, my wiring started out pretty, but then over time, as I change things, it gets ugly. Yeah. But the main thing is it works. That's, I guess there's, it takes all kinds of people to make the world go round, but so many people spend so much time, and I see it all the time on Facebook. They post pictures of not just their controllers, but the CNC machines they build, the Gatton CNCs in particular, and they're so pretty, and I'm like, yeah, that's great, that they're pretty and you put this custom paint job on it and stuff, but now are you going to use it? Because if you use it, it ain't going to stay pretty unless you spend more time keeping it pretty than you do actually working. And I think part of my the way I think like that is, I've worked in a lot of shops. In shops, they ain't about pretty. I can tell you that right now. They're about production, getting the job done. And I have seen, you go around the machines and you'd have to be careful because if you leaned up on anything, you get grease on you or something. But that's the way it was. They were not pretty. They got things done. And that's, I guess, kind of rubbed off on me is when I build something, I want it to function and I want it to get things done. I don't care about whether it's pretty or somebody's impressed with because have always said I had the ugliest Gatton CNC there was because there would be things I'd do because I had to get it up and running, and I did what I had to do to get it up and running so that I could make more Gatton CNC kits. And as I was doing it, I'm like, this is really ghetto here, but I'll come back and fix that. And no, I never did because it never stopped working. If it had been something I put on there and I'm like, that's really not very good. I need to do that the right way. I would have, but as long as it kept working, and it did, I never tried to go back and fix something that's not broke. Yep, there you go, client. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. He says mine was a fast job to try out the Gatton's still going. Yeah. Yeah, that's and like I said, there's nothing wrong with the people that want to make them, pretty and stuff like that. Some people are just like that, and more power to them. That's just not me. I am not all about the pretty stuff. I'm more about, does it work? Let's see how much time we got. I got a few minutes left. I'm going to tell you something that I thought was pretty cool. And I'm going to try not to go down that rabbit hole because I've got enough rabbit holes to go down. But I watched the Let's Talk Shop with Russ show. I usually turn that on because it comes on at 8, and then I do my show at 9. And I don't watch it all the time, but if he's got a guest on there that looks interesting, I like to watch and see what's going on. So I watch it, and of course I watch it till about 8:30, and then I have to stop and go out and get stuff turned on to do my show. But I got up Sunday morning, got me a cup of coffee, went back and watched the last half of that, and he had a guy on there. I don't know what his real name is, but his YouTube channel is called The Artesian Pirate. And I guess he does a lot of scroll saw stuff. And he also does 3D printing stuff. Well, the show was okay. It wasn't, it was pretty interesting listening to that guy. And he showed off some of the stuff he'd done. But when that ended, of course, then YouTube pops up and recommends one of his videos, which I was not subscribed to the guy. So I click on this video, and it's where he has 3D printed. I guess he's also into HO scale trains, and he has gone. Now, he doesn't design the stuff himself. He gets it off of Thingiverse, but I found the guy that he's getting these models from. In fact, let me pull it up. Let me see if I can get somebody started down a new rabbit hole. But they have all kinds of train stations and buildings, like they have water towers. And in fact, if I'm at Thingiverse right now, and if you just put in HO scale, you will find this guy because he's got a ton of stuff. Yeah, this is him right here. The guy that got all this stuff on Thingiverse is called Carumble, Cabrumble. But anyway, let me just show you some of the stuff he's got here that I thought was really pretty cool. All right, here's a house. Now, this is all 3D printed stuff, and it's made for HO scale. So that and this artesian pirate guy had printed a lot of stuff, and of course, it doesn't look like this when you print it. You got to spend time painting. So that's what I was really impressed with. The guy had all the things he did. He did a great job painting, that's probably going to keep me from going down this rabbit hole because I hate painting and I know I wouldn't do a good job. But like, if you come to, I should have went back to that. Let me go to this guy's thing. See, he's got all kinds of cool buildings. Here's a Main Street thing. Let's see if I can find some of he had an old school building. Oh, let's see if I can find it. It reminded me of the school that I went to when I first started school. They don't make them like that these days. Here it is right here. Here's the old school building, which I went to started school in a building that probably wasn't, of course, this is HO scale, but I mean, probably wasn't any bigger than this and had grades 1 through 12 there. So, we had like, I think 10 kids in my second grade class. So, but anyway, I just thought this stuff was really cool because that guy the artesian pirate guy, he had printed out a ton of, and that's got to take a long time because a lot of it, like this school building is like 3 or 4 different sections, and then you got to paint it all. And the video that I watched showed his, he had a big rectangle table, and then he had a train set, but then he had this whole little town and stuff, and it was pretty cool. I like stuff like that. I don't have the room or the time to do any of that, but it was really cool. Might want to check him out if you're into trains and stuff. Let's see, I missed a couple of comments here. Rob says, same here. Often my quick fixes, ugly, end up being very strong, and I never go back and redo it. Yeah. That's the way I am. I mean, I could show you things and you would just laugh when you see how I did something, but I'm like, let me just throw this together to get it going. And then it ends up working. And I'm like, well, when that messes up, I'll change it. Well, it's been 6 years now and it hadn't messed up. So I just keep it the way it is. Gary Hammett says a CNC is a tool, not furniture. Yeah, mine doubles as both sometimes because it's got a flat surface. So sometimes it'll become a workbench / junk table, especially if it's one of the CNCs that I don't need to use. And that's part of the problem. That's what some of the stuff I was cleaning up yesterday. I'm like, I couldn't run this thing if I wanted to. I'd have to clean it off first. So I need to eliminate it so that it's not just a place to collect stuff, which oftentimes mine is. Of course, now I've got my main CNC. It's full of stuff because I moved it from there over to there until I figure out where I'm going to put it. So I'm going to have to clean that one off just to run that box thing I was talking about earlier. But anyway, that's the way it goes. Well, we've had a pretty good little crowd over here. I noticed Saturday, I forget who it was. I think it was Wade. brought up the coffee sessions during the Saturday thing. And then I noticed when I came in here this morning, I've got 3 more subscribers than I had before. So yeah, we're still only 838 or so away from. Yeah, I won't live long enough to make 1,000 subs on this channel. Anyway, appreciate y'all hanging out with me this morning. I'm gonna get back out there, and first thing I'm gonna do is go measure those pieces and then come in here and play around. And of course, then I can't run it until I clean that table off, put some more stuff away. So that's what I'll be doing the rest of the day. But I hope you all have a good Monday. And let's see, where am I at here? Here we go. And come back tomorrow. If you're not doing nothing, bring your coffee. And we'll be here for 5:47 tomorrow. So have a good one, everybody.